Hey guys, well, welcome back to Bald Guy Sci, and because it's coming up on Christmas break for me as a teacher, I don't know where you're watching this from, but I have this project that I'm working on with students, which is called Paper Circuits, and you may be familiar with this. The kids create some type of card, but on the inside there is some circuitry, and you press a little button and you see my little LEDs lighting up. Pretty cool little circuit, STEM activity, sciencey thing, but what I was thinking maybe is, what if you wanted kids to take this up a notch from the elementary version where you can print the template like I did, and then they wire it and put all the LEDs in, to actually creating their own, thinking through what that circuit would look like, and kicking it up a notch both on the creativity side but also on the understanding side. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into a Google Drawing. If you aren't familiar with how Google Drawings work, just open up anything in Google and go to File, New, and then scroll down. You'll see Drawing. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to the page setup and change it to 11 by 8.5. So exactly the size of a sheet of paper. It is going to be landscape. And then what we need to do is go up to the top toolbar, and I'm going to click on and add a vertical guide of 5.5. So it's half of the page, where we're going to fold it in half. And that's going to be important. Now we're inserting an image, and we're going to search Google for whatever we want. I found that if you add the tag coloring, like a coloring page, you get a black and white fill-in, and you can find whatever you want. Import that sucker, pop it over on the right-hand side, and then start thinking about where you want those LEDs to go. So this is the front of your card. It needs to go on the right-hand side. And then you'll notice that I'm just changing the title here because I want to make a copy of this drawing. So I'm just going to go File, make a copy. And then from there, I'm going to change this one. I'm going to add the tag circuits. Okay, so you're going to have two images that get printed back to back. Now I'm going to take this in the copy, and I'm going to drop the transparency way down, as if I were looking through the image to see where the circuits would need to be behind it. And then I'm going to grab a shape for where the battery goes, just a little circle. I'm going to hold Shift and drag that out so it makes a perfect circle. And then I'm just going to type BAT in there, and we'll shrink it down and change the color and center it and do all the cool things that make me happy about the way my drawing is looking. And let's see. Okay, so that's where our little CR2032 battery is going to go. You can pick those up really cheap at any drugstore or on Amazon. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change the background of the whole card white, just so it makes things a little bit easier to see. And you'll notice that I popped some wires in there. This is the template of where my wires are going to go. And how I did that was with the line tool. And if you think about how a circuit's going to work, you're going to connect to one side of the battery, which is the bottom. And it can be either one, positive or negative. It just depends on how you line up your LEDs. And all I'm doing is drawing these straight lines out by holding Shift, and then I'm changing it to 16 pixels wide. And you can move these around exactly how you need them, but you'll notice one side is already connected to the battery. Just bring the battery to the front, and then one side is not. It's going to be connected to our switch. So I'm just drawing out an LED here as an example of what they look like. So they have those two little legs on them. One side is positive and one side is negative. The one thing I noticed, and you can have the kids sort of figure this out by playing with the battery, is that the positive side of an LED is longer than the negative side, and they are current specific. So if you switch them, they don't work. So that's kind of troubleshooting thing there too. I'm just grouping this and then copy and pasting it. So the kids can put these symbols in there, or you can use real electrical symbols if you'd like. But if theirs doesn't work, they need to either flip their LEDs around, or they need to flip their battery around. So I'm just going to put an LED here on Rudolph's nose, and I should have made these straight right to left instead of at an angle, but that'll work. I have the positive side on the track connected to the bottom of the battery, which means I need to put the positive side of the battery down. And then I have the negative side on the outermost wire. And the other one I think I'll put right up here on the top of Santa's little hat. And we'll spin that around, make sure that both positives are on the same wire. Move it back over, both negatives on the same wire. And that's my template, okay? So what's going to happen, you can see my guide in the center. When I fold this card in half, the little L at the bottom left is going to connect to the battery, and that's going to turn on my circuit. So now I'm ready to print. So I like to download these as PDFs. So I'm going to go ahead and change the background to white just to make sure. So one of them says battery. That's the one on the template. And the other one's going to say press, because you want people to push down here. And you can see that on mine. It's upside down. So then I'm going to download these to a PDF. And I'll give you one little tip on how they have to go into the printer, but you'll see them here real quick. So just file, go ahead and download and make this a print PDF. And then I'm going to print those both out on a regular sheet of paper. But then what has to happen is I've got to take them and I've got to line them up with the template upside down so that when they copy right. And you can see it's barely visible on the inside. And now I'm putting my tape down and testing that LED. So once you pop everything in place, you're going to tape your battery down. Make sure that your battery is not covered in tape, because tape is an insulator. So I'll show you in that picture. You can see that. And I don't know if I can get this up on the camera, but leaving part of the battery open. And then also built in a little switch. And that it's really not a switch per se, but what it is just this spongy part of the paper that it's going to push the papers back apart so it doesn't run out my battery, and somebody actually does have to press. And that's it. That is it. So you just have the kids color the front, whatever they want to do, and then they put it in there. So, hey, I hope that is a super fun activity for you and your kids, a great little STEM activity. All this stuff, the copper tape, the LEDs, the CR2032 batteries, you can get on Amazon. The copper tape is probably the only thing you can't find semi-locally. But LEDs, you're going to get like 5,000 of them for pretty cheap. The tape is not that expensive. You can go ahead and find that as well. Maybe I'll throw a link down in the video on where you can find that. And have fun. Send me at BaldSci. Send me the a picture of what you made with your students. I'd love to see it. Have a great holiday.